Hello everyone, we are here on day 22 in Luke 22, and on this Good Friday we read verses 1 through 6 and 39 through 53 in this very significant scene in the life of Jesus. We heard about how Judas agreed to betray Jesus. We read about him praying in the garden. We read about his arrest. And there's so much more packaged in chapter 22, of course, but that's what we focused on. That's what we read about. And for me, the verses that stood out were verses 44 through 46. And here's what they say. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. When he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from sorrow. Why are you sleeping? He asked them. Get up and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. I want to zero in on Jesus' character in this moment. What did I see of Jesus' character? I saw that in the hardest of times, Jesus prioritized prayer. And it's a lesson to us that in the hardest of times that we experience, we also, like Jesus, should prioritize prayer. Just giving a little bit more in terms of the thoughts that arose as I read the verses that stood out to me there, and that whole segment of Jesus praying in the garden, it depicts that the disciples slept through their pain, but Jesus prayed through his pain, and he taught what was most necessary, and he modeled it for us. He modeled it for his disciples. So when we are in deep places of pain and sorrow, still we must pray and connect with God. That is essential. Jesus modeled it in the most difficult, the heaviest, most burdensome season of his life. And he is our example. And so as we go through life's challenges, we may be tempted to bury our head in the sand if we could, and as it were, sleep through our pain, or turn a blind eye, or try to work through it in some kind of way. But Jesus modeled what it is that's most essential, what we should prioritize, and that is prayer, to connect to God, to seek his heart, to put our hand in his hand and benefit from his help, and trusting in him that what his will is ultimately what is best, so that we can say, not my will, but yours be done, as Jesus did. And so that's what I took from that segment of our reading today. It was very meaningful to just be reminded of Jesus' model, of his example, and how he prioritized prayer. And so my aim, my goal is to do much the same, to prioritize prayer in my life, no matter the season, whether I'm up, whether I'm down, whether I'm confused, whether I'm challenged, as I face new things, as I learn and I'm trying, I'm growing in various areas of my life, that prayer must be a priority. That's what I'm taking away from today. I hope you found something that really meant something to you and touched your heart. We're going to read on. We have 2 more chapters, 2 more days as we come upon the Easter celebration. And I know that we are going to continue to be blessed and enriched as we look to Jesus, the reason.